If you think your local hospital is a safe place to hide from the law, you clearly don't know Tom Homan. The days of turning a blind eye are over, and the federal government is finally taking a firm stand in places previously thought to be untouchable. Before we dive into the chaos, do me a favor. Leave a comment below telling me where you're watching from and if you've already seen the border crisis reach your town. Hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to wake up, and subscribe so you don't miss a single update on what is really happening in our country. America is at a massive crossroads right now. We are watching a power struggle between federal law and local leaders that looks more like a movie than real life. From federal agents walking down hospital hallways in Minnesota to our oldest allies on the world stage suddenly turning their backs on us, the world you knew 5 years ago is gone. We have journalists getting arrested, the world's biggest economies uniting against the dollar, and a massive revolution happening inside your own pantry. Today, we are breaking down the 4 major shifts that will decide your family's future, your freedom, and your health. This isn't just news, it's a survival guide for what's coming in 2026. Let's start with what's happening in the North. For years, cities like Minneapolis have branded themselves as sanctuary cities. Sounds nice, right? Like a safe place. But the reality is that these policies have become a magnet for people who shouldn't be here. Enter Tom Homan, the man they call the border czar. He is not playing games anymore. We are seeing a massive federal crackdown because, let's be honest, 2 American citizens lost their lives due to a lack of cooperation between local police and federal agents. The latest flashpoint? Hospitals. For a long time, there was this unwritten rule that ICE wouldn't enter sensitive areas, like schools or hospitals. But that has changed. The administration realized that if you create a no-go zone, that is exactly where the bad guys are going to hide. Now, doctors and nurses are in a panic. They say this violates rights and makes people afraid to seek medical help. On the other hand, Homan is basically saying, if you're a criminal, there is nowhere to hide. Period. It's a mess. You have the governor of Minnesota saying they aren't a sanctuary state, while the DOJ lists them as one. It's total confusion, and the regular people living there are caught in the middle. Is it about safety, or is it about the law? When you see federal agents in a place meant for healing, it feels intense. But when you see crime rates skyrocket because local mayors won't pick up the phone when ICE calls, you realize something has to change. Common sense tells us that a border isn't just a line in the sand in Texas. It is every city, every street, and yes, even the hallways of a hospital if that's where the law needs to go. But the battle isn't just on the streets, it's in the newsrooms too. Have you seen what's happening with the media lately? We have big-name journalists like Don Lemon and others finding themselves on the wrong side of handcuffs. For a long time, these guys felt untouchable. They could say whatever they wanted, manipulate any story, and even interfere in police work under the guise of reporting. But the line between being a journalist and being an activist has become so thin you can't even see it anymore. People are asking, is the First Amendment dying, or is it finally being protected from those who abuse it? You see guys like Dave Chappelle or Bill Maher, men who aren't always on our team, but even they are saying the world has gone crazy. They're calling out censorship and the way the woke mob tries to silence anyone who speaks the truth. When a journalist is arrested for obstructing a federal operation, the media screams censorship. But when that same journalist is actively helping people break the law, is it still journalism? We are losing the right to have a real conversation because everything has become a battlefield. If you can't report the facts without adding a political spin that puts lives at risk, you aren't a reporter. You are a PR agent for a narrative. It's a scary time for free speech, but maybe it's a necessary wake-up call for a media industry that has been lying to us for decades. While we fight at home, the rest of the world is making its moves. This is the part that should really keep you up at night. South Africa just announced it's withdrawing from the G20. You might think, who cares about South Africa? Well, you should care. They are a massive part of the BRICS nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries are tired of the USA being the boss. They're tired of the US dollar being the only currency that matters. Think of it like a neighborhood. For 100 years, the USA was the guy with the biggest house and the most money. Everyone had to follow our rules. But now the other neighbors are starting their own club. They're trading in their own currencies. They're ditching big forums like the G20 because they don't want to hear about our America First policies anymore. What does this mean for you? It means the price of your eggs, your gas, and your mortgage is going to change. If the dollar is no longer the king of the world, your savings aren't as safe as you think. We are seeing the formation of a bloc of countries that is openly anti-American. They look at us and see a country distracted by infighting, and they're taking advantage of it. It's a game of geopolitical chess, and right now it looks like we're playing checkers. We need to get our house in order before the rest of the world decides they don't need us at all. And speaking of getting our house in order, let's talk about what's on your dinner table. Have you noticed how many people are getting sick lately? Chronic diseases, allergies, kids with issues we've never seen before? There is a new movement called MAGA, Make America Healthy Again. It's being led by people like RFK Jr. and even some surprising figures like Ron DeSantis. They're looking at the FDA and saying, enough is enough. Did you know the cereal you eat for breakfast has chemicals that are literally banned in Europe? We're talking about red dye 40, seed oils, and high fructose corn syrup that is basically poison. The MAGA plan is simple. Stop the government from being a puppet for big food companies. They want to ban these toxic additives and go back to real whole foods. Of course, the pro-science crowd is going crazy, saying this is all a conspiracy. But you don't need a PhD to see that our food is making us fat and sick. It's a kitchen table revolution. People are starting to realize that the same government telling you the border is secure is the same one telling you this chemical-laden bread is good for your kids. It's all connected. It's about taking back control. Control of our borders, control of our speech, control of our money, and now control of our bodies. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all this. Federal agents in hospitals, journalists in jail, the dollar under attack, and poison in our food. It feels like the world is spinning out of control. But here's the key. For the first time in a long time, the truth is coming to light. The sanctuary myth is being exposed. Media bias is being punished. The globalists are being challenged. And food companies are finally being put on notice. We are living through a massive cleanup. It's messy, it's loud, and it's uncomfortable, but it's happening because we demanded it. We are tired of the lies. We are tired of being told that down is up and that wrong is right. Whether it's Tom Homan doing the hard work on the front lines or a mother in the supermarket reading the label on a box of cookies, the American people are waking up. We are realizing that if we don't stand up for our own interests, no one else will. The world is changing, and it's changing fast. But as long as we keep our eyes open and keep talking to each other, we can navigate this chaos. We aren't just watching history happen, we are making it. It's time to get involved, stay informed, and never apologize for putting our country and our families first.